Welcome to the Memorial Building, where tonight the Hibbing Blue Jackets will be taking on the Aurora Hoyt Lakes Blackhawks. I'm John Doherty. This is Jim Fisher with the color commentary. This game is being brought to you by the TV Productions 2 class of Hibbing Community College under the Arrowhead region. The underwriter for this game is First Federal Savings and Loan of Hibbing. Jim, give us the stats or give us a little update on both teams.
Well, tonight, after talking to both teams, I went and talked to the players for the Hibbing team, and they're expecting a hard-hitting game tonight. The last time that they played Aurora, they played them at Aurora, and for 1.5 periods, it was a real close game, and then as soon as the third period started, the roof caved in on Aurora, and the game ended up 9-3. But they're expecting a hard-hitting game. And Hibbing, as long as they feel they can get to play their own game, they feel that they'll win. Whereas talking to the Aurora coaches and also a couple of the players, they came here with the idea that they're going to win. They figure, just like Evelyn, they're going to have to stay out of the penalty box. They're going to have to be a heavy checking game with Hibbing, keep them from setting up. And also, they got to get to play their own game. One of the bad things, I guess, is that Hibbing plays 4 lines, so Aurora is playing 3. So I think they're going to have, it's tough to play intensity of that caliber when you're going against a team like Hibbing. But I think we're going to be seeing quite a good game.
We'll be back in a moment. Steps for tonight's game are for the Aurora Hoyt Lakes Blackhawks. Number 1, John Van Cleve. At center, number 8, Mike Zinn. At one wing, number 9, Pat Mishmash. And number 23, David Niemi. At the defense, number 11, John Koski. And paired up with him tonight will be number 17, Tim Suler.
The team is coached by Dick Hendrickson and assisted by Dick Vertai. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineup for the Hibbing Blue Jackets.
And now for the Hibbing Blue Jackets. Starting in goal will be number 0, John Hajduk. And at center, number 4, Pat Iozo. And at one wing will be number 7, Nick Andrikin. And at number 14, Pat Meralt. At defense, number 2, Tom Hansen. Also on defense will be number 12, Jerry Kristoff. Welcome back to tonight's game. Well, looks like we should have another good game tonight. It's not a hard hitting.
I think after the Evelyn game was a promise of what's going to be on here. Aurora, they're expecting Aurora to come out to be a hard hitting. Talking to players, and they're expecting, after having them at Aurora, they said they're expecting a good hard hitting game from them.
Iozo controls the draw for Hibbing. Back to Tom Hansen. Tom Hansen tries to get it up, but it's knocked back to him. Puck is shot down into the Aurora zone. Puck is knocked away by Pat Iozo. The save there by Van Cleve. Puck is knocked around behind the net. Players fall down. Hibbing controls up the boards, held in by Meralt. His shot was wide. Andrikin is taken down. Aurora controls. Then up to Mismash, over to Koski. Koski drops it to Mismash, can't control it. Held in there by Aurora. Mismash knocked off the puck. Aurora keeps it into the Hibbing zone. Hajduk shuffles it behind the net, controlled there by Aurora. Still held in by Aurora. Knocked up against the boards, and Hibbing clears it out. We're going to have an icing call on Hibbing. Well, it started out. We're going to have what looks like a hard-hitting game, just like the players predicted.
Yeah, so far most of the play's been at center rink, but I think the nerves are working off.
Yeah, a little nervous.
Another couple of minutes playing around, I think the intensity is going to pick up.
Puck is shot around the boards and come right out in front of Hajduk. Shot is wide. Hibbing brings it out. Katani dumps it down in. Van Cleve makes the save. Aurora controls it. It's taken away. It's there by Katani. Puck is kicked outside. Grillo controls, puts it out in front. Oh, and Katani was just knocked away. Vessel picks it up. It's knocked off his stick. Aurora knocks it down the ice. We're going to have an icing call on Aurora. Well, so far, through the start of the game, so what we see, Hibbing is really kind of controlling it in the zone once they get there. Katani controls the draw. It's knocked out inside the blue line. Bryant over to Nikolov. Nikolov towards the Grillo. Pass is knocked away from him. Aurora knocks it down into the zone, Hibbing zone. Aurora still controls out in front. Oh, and a nice save there by Hajduk. Aurora keeps it into the zone. Nikolov puts it up to the blue line, but not out. Held in there by Aurora. Picked up there by Nikolov. Nikolov makes a move around one man. Chases it down into the Aurora zone. Aurora picks it up. Stolen there by Nikolov. Nikolov back to Katani. Katani put it out in front. But Esty couldn't quite control it. It was a nice save there, though.
On this break, the beginning, he could have had a 2-on-1 there.
Held in the zone there by Kazar. Kazar out in front. Oh, and he hit the post. Clouseau hit the post.
I think the goalie got a little bit of a stick to glance at wide where it hit the post.
Puck is controlled by Aurora. Clouseau holds the Aurora player up against the wall to have a face-off to the left of John Van Cleve.
Well, the intensity is starting to pick up a little bit now. Hibbing is starting to move the puck around a little bit more now.
Blackhawks look a little confused on that one.
I think maybe they're still nervous.
Rafferty brings it up for Aurora. Center actually tried to dump it into Hibbing's zone. Backhands it down. Vidmar picks it up for Hibbing. He puts it over to Clouseau. Clouseau up to Kasnar. He shoots shots wide, goes around the net. John Hagen slips and falls, covers the puck up against the boards. We'll have another face-off to the left of John Van Cleve.
Yeah, I think Aurora has been playing mostly defensive hockey so far, so I think they're a little nervous yet trying to get something going against Hibbing. Hibbing has had control in the Aurora end most of the first period so far.
Draws won by Pat Iozzo. Iozzo puts it out to Kristoff. Passes.
Good stick check there.
Knocked out by Aurora. Pass up to Iozzo. He dumps it down into the corner. Aurora controls, bringing it out of their own zone. Smash. Picks it up. He's running into the boards. Kristoff picks it up. Makes a move around one man. Pass for Iozzo was knocked away. Aurora brings it out. Mismatch. Makes a move around one man. Shoots. Oh, and a nice save there by Hajduk. Shot there. Another nice save by Hajduk. Pat Iozzo's pass The puck is knocked off his stick, picks it back up, makes a move. Oh, nice check there. Solar knocked him right off the puck.
I also would have had clean sweep in there if he would have gotten around Basky on that one.
Hansen shoots it back around the net. Anderkin picks it up, skates up to center ice. Over there to Grillo. Grillo's knocked off the puck. Aurora controls. Zessel knocks it back into the Aurora zone. Grillo collides with an Aurora player. Aurora controls. Pass is stolen there by Zessel. Out front to Catani. He scores! What a shoot! What a move! That was a beautiful shot there.
A good stick handling by Catani.
Zessel made a nice move there to take the puck away, and Catani ends up with it and made John Van Cleve make the first move, and he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, Zessel got him to make his first move, and he just passed it to Catani.
Aurora controls in the Hibbing zone.
Number 3, Catani.
Grillo's pass is knocked.
6, Zessel. 3 from 6.
The scoring on that play was number 3, Antonio Catani, from number 6, John Zessel. Catani gets in behind the net, tries to center it, and Cleve knocks it back behind the net. Grillo knocks an Aurora player down. We'll have a face-off to the left of John Van Cleve. Hibbing's doing a good job of forechecking
Hibbing is
early in the game.
really playing their game, and I think they're keeping the puck in the Aurora end. You can see they're playing the game that they want to play.
Draw is controlled by Hibbing. Oh, Vidmar hits the post. Aurora controls. Oh. Aurora dumps it down into the Hibbing zone.
Offside.
We're going to have an offside called.
Yeah, Aurora's going to have to start getting something going because Van Cleve's going to have to be making a lot of saves pretty soon.
Draw is controlled there by Kasner. There's a fight for it. Kasner controls it. Back to Grillo. Excuse me, Gusted. Gusted over to Vidmar. Vidmar dumps it ahead for Clouseau. He loses the puck. Kasner picks it up, and it's stolen there by Rafferty. Rafferty drops it back to Aikens. Aikens shoots at the side of the net. Fight for it along the board. Zins picks it up. Zins picks it up, shoot. Oh, and he scores! That was a nice move there by Zins to pick the puck back up.
You know, I wonder if Hajduk was screened on that. He reacted rather slowly on that. I just wonder if he was screened on that one.
It could be that he just wasn't ready for it either.
Because it was in before he reacted.
Scoring over Aurora Hoyt, number 8. Hibbing, unassisted, number 8.
Tom Hansen steals a pass, shoots. Oh, and there's a save there by Van Cleve, and the puck is up on the board. We'll have another stop in action.
For Mike Zins, that's his 5th goal of the year.
Girardi's knocked down out in front. Oh. Pat Gozic couldn't quite get to it. The puck is stolen there.
Oh, they had Aurora had a breakaway there for a minute. Passed it too long. Michael Zins was
picked up in front by Niemi. He misses the net on the backhand. Out to the point. Topsky shot. Deflected wide.
Deflected wide.
Up in front. Back to the point. Niemi shot. Knocked down in front. Hajduk makes a save. Oh, and they scored! David Nemi pokes the rebound in.
It bounced off the pipe off the side there. It looked like Hajduk had it, and he was waiting for the official to call it, and Nemi came along and poked it right in.
Well, Aurora came back strong after Hibbing scored the first goal.
Well, Aurora has been book checking and everything.
Ayazo over to Moralt. Moralt is boxed in the corner. Back out to Bryant. Bryant's shot is deflected out in front. Aurora controls behind the net. Pass up there is too far. Bryant picks it up. Aurora controls it, brings it into the Hibbing zone. Got back to the point. Shot in there is deflected wide. Anderson controls, keeps it around the boards for Bryant. Bryant loses it out in front. Oh! There's a scramble for it out in front.
That's almost a delay of game there.
And I believe Pat Moralt is laying on the puck. Looked like he kind of shuffled it under himself.
Yeah,
could have been a delay of game.
Yeah, right. Lucky didn't get called for that. But Aurora is starting to show offensive power. They're skating harder now than Hibbing. Hibbing's waiting for the puck. They're not going for the puck, whereas Aurora is, they're showing the intensity now that they want to win.
Draw is controlled there by Pat Iozo. Stolen.
Yeah, stolen away.
Adrian picks it up. He's pushed off the puck. We're going to have an offside call. Well, Aurora came out a little shaky, but they've really taken it to him.
Yeah, I think once they got a taste of what their offense was, I think that picked them up a little bit. And that is to show that they could still slow Hibbing down a little bit. Just starting to skate now.
Katani steals the puck and puts it out front. It's stolen away by Aurora. Pass across the ice. Nobody was there. Hit the referee. Zesso picks it up. Passes it over to Grillo. Grillo shoots. Oh, and a nice save there by Van Cleve. Van Cleve came up, cut the angle down pretty good. I don't think Grillo had much to shoot at.
Zessel, I think, could have faced a little bit more on Grillo with Grillo because they had 2-on-1 and with the goalie. I think that was a good save by Van Cleve. He almost made a move that he was going to go down, but he didn't.
Puck is controlled by Hibbing. Katani picks it up, shoots. Save there by Van Cleve. The puck is deflected
into the seat.
over the glass and into the seat.
That second goal seemed to spark Aurora quite a bit now.
They're showing a lot of hustle.
They're hustling.
Doesn't look like either team wants to play any defense tonight.
No, Hibbing started out with it.
Grillo out in front, shoots, and he scores! A nice move there by Katani. Nice pass centering. Grillo put it between Van Cleve's legs. We have a 2-2 hockey game at 5:50 of the first period. Aurora controls, dumps it down into the Hibbing zone. Shoot, brings it in. Oh, Hajduk makes a nice save. Got a little mix up there on the side of the net.
For Mike Grillo, that's his 4th goal of the year.
Hajduk had to make a nice save there.
Oh.
Pat
Yeah, they're
going
going back and forth. quite a bit now. There is a lack of defense, but each team seems like they're getting breakaways, 2-on-1. So it's long passing that they're doing.
Draw is controlled by Aurora. Brian Olsen shoots a save there by Hajduk, and he deflects it over the glass. It certainly shows that both teams are having no problems getting their offense going.
No, they're not. Not tonight.
Aurora controls the draw. Brian Olsen shoots. Shot is knocked down in front. Clouseau picks it up. He's knocked off the puck. Out to the point. Shoot. Oh! Hajduk forced him to shoot it wide. Kristoff picks it up. Over to Kasner. Kasner over to Hagen. He's knocked off the puck. Kasner picks it back up, shoots it down into the zone. Players fall. Aurora controls. Aurora brings it around the back of their net. Aurora controls, bringing it over the blue line. Brings it in, shoot. Oh, and a nice save there by Hajduk.
Mark Mackey came in with Kegler, 2-on-1. And Hajduk had to make a good save. Aurora is sure coming through a lot now at 2-on-1. The last one they had was a defenseman coming in on them.
That was a great individual effort there by that Aurora player.
Oh, they're getting good passing Aurora is having right now.
Shot there. Aikens shot wide. Nikolov controls behind the Hibbing net. Over there for Bryant. Bryant's knocked off the puck. Iozo picks it up. He's knocked off the puck. Bryant picks it up. The puck is knocked away from him. Aurora controls, gets it out of their zone, out to the center ice area. Nikolov picks it up. Over to Anderkin. Anderkin shoots. His shot is wide. Moralt picks it up into the corner. He's knocked down. Aurora controls.
Ooh, almost in it.
Aurora dumps it down into the right of Hajduk.
They're changing.
Nikolov puts it around Bryant. Bryant's pass is intercepted. We're going to have an offside call. Looks like Aurora's trying to be a little intimidating tonight.
Well, I'm sure they are. You know, you have to do something to slow Hibbing down, and I would imagine they're going to go with play the strongest game they can.
From what we see, Aurora can skate pretty close to.
Well, yeah, that's what they're playing right now. That they're showing that they can skate along with them. But you know, there's a long game yet.
Zessel around the board. Over to Vidmar. Vidmar over to Grillo. Grillo picks it up over to Catani. Catani back to Zessel. Zessel makes a move around one man, puts it out in front. Oh, and Catani just misses the tip. Vidmar shoots it back down into the Aurora corner.
Between Zessel and
Catani steals. It goes around the net. Puck is knocked away from him. Catani falls. Puck is held there in the corner. We'll have a face-off to the right of Van Cleve.
Zessel and Catani came down real nice. And then Catani got too close. And it skated on, then it was fine. Dean Koski finally poke checked it away.
Catani controls the face-off, tries to get it out in front. Doesn't quite. Grillo out in front. Zessel backhand goes wide. Catani back to the point to Gusted. His shot is knocked away by the Aurora defenseman. Aurora controls it in their own corner. Mismatch. Brings it out of his own zone to the center ice area. Dumps it down into the
That's
zone.
a shot.
Gusted holds it in the corner.
Face-off to the left.
David Niemi will have a face-off to the left of John Hajduk.
Oh, with 2:36 left in the game, we've seen quite offensive shooting so far.
Not many whistles. They're really moving the puck around.
They're moving good, and it's a clean game. It's a heavy checking game.
Tom Hansen picks up the face-off. Aurora holds it in. Kristoff picks it up, puts it around the board to John Hagen. Hagen dumps it down into the Aurora zone. Mackey picks it up. He's knocked down. Kasner keeps it in. Puts it out in front, nobody's there. Aurora brings it out to the center ice. Dumps it down into the Hibbing zone. Kristoff picks it up, puts it around the boards to Cousseau. Cousseau has it knocked off his stick. Kasner picks it up, dumps it out to center ice. Mackey's knocked off the puck. And the puck is knocked over the boards into the Hibbing bench. Well, they've kind of slowed down a little bit and started doing a little bit of checking.
I think the puck is bouncing around and moving around more, so the guys are having trouble controlling it now the way it looks. Nobody has control of it.
Bryant over to Nikolov. Nikolov loses it. Bryant recovers. Anderkin picks it up over to Iozzo. Iozzo breaks in. Nice move. Oh! Van Cleve made the save with his head. Anderkin has the puck knocked away from him. Down into their corner.
He ducked and it hit his glove.
Bryant's pass. Eludes Anderkin. Ralph picks it up. Over to Nikolov. Nikolov shoots it down into the center ice area. Nikolov picks it up. Over to Iozzo. Iozzo takes it into the corner. Tries to get it out to the point. He hit a drop stick. Aurora picks it up. Mismatch shoots. Blocked there by Bryant. Bryant falls. Aurora controls in the corner. Out to the point. Hibbing's got a 3-on-3. Anderkin back to Iozzo. Iozzo across. Oh! Morale just couldn't get to the pass. Aurora brings it back 1-on-2.
Morale was too far in on that. It went behind him.
Saved there by Hajduk. Over into the corner. Anderkin controls it. Puts it around the boards for Morale. Nikolov comes in. Picks it up. Skates up. Nikolov into the Aurora zone. Tries to get it over to Iozzo. Iozzo's knocked into the corner. Back to the point, and there's nobody there. 5 seconds left in the period. Hajduk is out. Oh! With 1 second left in the period.
You know, I think
goal counts.
Sandvik came in all alone on Hajduk, and Hajduk had too much to get back. I think he was out of position when Zins scored that goal. They're arguing about it now whether it's going to count or not, but Hajduk, I think,
should
was
count.
out of position.
When the period's over, the red lights behind the net don't go off.
Right. But
and they were going off.
I think
and they do count the goal.
when Hajduk had to come out to stop Sandvik's save, he had too far. I don't know if he realized he was that far away from the net, but he was still trying to get back, and I think he was out of position yet. He couldn't do nothing to stop that puck.
Well, at the end of the first period, the Aurora Hoyt Blackhawks lead the Hibbing Blue Jackets 3-2. Welcome back. At the end of the first period, the Aurora Hoyt Blackhawks lead the Hibbing Blue Jackets 3-2. Kind of surprisingly, but Aurora's really played a strong first period.
Yeah, Aurora has played a good offensive game. Hibbing scored first on a goal by Antonio Catani, and he had help by John Zezel on that goal. That made a 1-0 Hibbing. All of a sudden, the offensive edge started going to Aurora. And number 8, Mike Zins, he got an unassisted goal for the first goal, and all of a sudden they came back a couple minutes later and they scored again. And Dave Nemi put again, number 23. And then Hibbing tied it up on a goal by Mike Grillo. And he was assisted by Antonio Catani on that one. And then at the end of the first period, 1 second left, Brent Bovitz from Aurora, he scored on a goal that the Hibbing goalie came out to stop one, and I don't think he got back in time to react to this one, and Bovitz slid it past him to make it 3-2 at the end of the first period. The saves in this, there were no penalties in this. It was a clean quarter. The saves, Hajduk for Hibbing had 13 saves, and Van Cleve for Aurora, he had 7 saves. And I'll be back in a minute with our guests. The guests between the first and second period are the second half of the Hibbing cheerleaders. Between the other team, we had the first half, and now we have the second half of the girls. So I'd like to introduce the girls.
Sue Michelson, a junior. Maggie Clajo, a junior. Liz Rue, junior. Mary Buzzy, senior. Ginger Kangas, senior.
Girls, maybe you'd like to explain a little bit why you have some come to this game, and where do you girls go when you're not cheering?
Well, we decided this year to divide up into 2 different squads to give us all a chance to, experience the different types of cheerleading and stuff.
Or sometimes do some of you go to basketball games and the others go to hockey games?
Yeah.
So then there's something going on in other times when you're not here. Are you at the games, or are you...
It depends. Sometimes we're at the games and sometimes we are cheering at it.
What's the objective of being a cheerleader? Who wants to answer that?
Okay, well, you promote school spirit and try to get the fans all rowdy. I don't know.
What happens when you get rowdy fans? Do you calm them down?
Try to. Yeah.
How do you do that?
I try starting a cheer that they all know. So we do.
An easy one.
An easy one, catchy one.
How do you like doing all sports as a part of a cheerleader?
Harder than just one sport because you have to practice for all different sports, and you can't, just be really good at just one. You have to be all around good.
Are the cheers approximately the same for all, or do you have different cheers for each sport?
They're different.
How many sports do you do?
And we do four in the winter and 3 in the fall.
What sports you do in the winter?
We do hockey, boys basketball, girls basketball, and wrestling.
Wrestling? How do you cheerlead at a wrestling match?
Just try to get the team pepped up, and it's fun. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like best about cheerleading?
I don't know, just for the team to, when the team enjoys having us, so we can, cheer them along and stuff.
On tryouts, are there many girls that try out? Say you're a cheerleader this year. You really got to try out to make it next year, or are you always part of it?
Yeah, you have to try out.
There's always a chance that you won't make it.
Right.
Is it a lot of hard work?
Yeah, we put a lot into it.
How about injuries as far as cheerleader? Do you get a lot of injuries?
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yeah. Yeah, she's got over one. I just got over a sprained ankle and chipped bone.
Is that right? And I think one of the girls last week had a broken back or something like that. How are your injuries? How do you get them? Just by jumping around and doing all that?
Or just when you're not supposed to be doing things that you...
What are the fun parts about being a cheerleader?
You get to meet a lot of people, and you get to know the players, and you get to travel a lot.
What happens now, say, if Hibbing goes to the state, the hockey team? Do all of you go at the same time?
We break up into 2 different squads of 6. And one squad will cheer for, like, hockey and girls basketball. And the other squad will cheer for boys basketball and wrestling.
You mean that, say, if they went down to the state, all of you wouldn't be going?
No, you get to choose which preference you want. Like, so. And then hockey.
Oh, so you'd be the ones going?
We have a merit and demerit system that goes on points.
Explain that.
Well, if you're there on time and if you're at all the games, you get a certain number of points. And if you're late, miss practice, miss a game, sick, you miss points.
Actually, then that you gotta subtract or add or what have you. Eh? What happens when some girls are sick? Does just one of you would take the place?
Like right now, one's gone. Yeah, one's gone now, so you just practice for however many you have, and you try to make the best of what you have.
That doesn't. In your rhythms and that, does that matter at all?
Sometimes, but you have to go around it. Like sometimes if like there's a lot missing, it's kind of hard. It's usually okay with 4 people, but if there's any less, it's kind of hard to do stuff.
Is this something, if your girls go to college, would you try out to be cheerleaders on those respective schools?
It depends on where it was, and you have to put a lot into it, you know. It takes a lot out of our homework, and...
Would you take in boys as cheerleaders?
Yeah, sure. It'd be fun, I think. That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
After watching a lot of the colleges they have, and most of them are tumbling experts.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice for mounts, I would say, to have guys there, because they can lift you, and with us it's kind of hard, because sometimes if you don't have girls that are big enough or something, they're hard to, you know, climb on and stuff, so.
Do you have a cheer to end this program now? I know you have to get back to the ice before the team comes out.
Well,
do a little short...
Nah. I don't know.
Okay, if you don't, then this... Thank you for being up here at this, and I wish you girls luck and hope you make it to the States.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to the start of the second period. Hibbing controls the draw, shoots it down. Van Cleve has to make a save. Deflects it over into the corner. Pat Iozo picks it up. Oh! Morales was knocked down in front. No penalty was called. Save there by Van Cleve. Anderkin picks it up. Shoots wide across the front of the net. Christoph knocks it back into the corner. Iozo picks it up. Knocked off his stick. Nimi picks it up. He breaks down into the Hibbing zone. Skates around the back of the net. Puts it out in front. Nobody's there. Iozo picks it up. Puck is knocked off his stick. He picks it back up. Shoots it into the Aurora zone. Picked up there by Koski. Koski shoots it in. Maralt and Zins go to the board. Picked up there by Tom Hansen. Out to the point. But not out. Pass out in front. Nobody's there. Nikolov passes up to Zessel. Zessel picks it up. Skates down into the Aurora zone. Passes too far and outside the blue line back into the center ice area. Bryant tries to make a pass. The pass is deflected over against the boards. Bryant picks it up. Skates behind his own net. Pass is intercepted. Shoots. Oh! Sandvik shoots it wide. Grillo picks it up. He's in his own corner. Fight for it along the board. Grillo picks it up. Tried to get it over to Catani. Catani couldn't control it. Picked up. Catani breaking in along the left-hand side. Over to Bryant. Bryant shoots. Saved there by Van Cleve out in front. There's a scramble. Picked up by Sandvik. Sandvik over to Bovitz. Bovitz couldn't quite handle it. And Nikolov controls over to Grillo. Grillo tried to flip it up and didn't get control of the puck. We'll have an icing call on Hibbing. Well, quite a fast-moving start to the second period.
They're started, Aurora is really skating quite rapidly now to start this period. Hibbing is now trying to counter it with checking. But Aurora still trying to get her going. We're staying in that Hibbing end.
Draws controlled by Aurora. Shot out in front, deflected. Hajduk makes a save, deflects it over into the corner. Vidmar pass out in front. Pass is intercepted again. Aurora holds it into the zone. Gosdic puts it back in. Well, delayed offside call. It's called there.
Right now, I think Aurora is just all hustling or Hibbing.
Iozo takes a face-off for Hibbing. Aurora decides to change up their line.
We want to say again that this game is being brought to you by the Television Production 2 class and Mass Communication Department of the Hibbing Community College, Arrowhead region. The underwriter for this program in this game is the First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Hibbing.
Tom Hansen controls. In his own corner, he slips and falls. He's knocked off the puck. Pat Iozo around the boards to Kristoff. Kristoff tried to put it up. Can't control it. Out in front. Aurora stole the pass. Couldn't quite get their stick on it. It's held for a face-off in the corner.
Ryan Olson had this could have been a surprising pass, a backhanded pass from the blue line in there that could have been dangerous if it would have been poke check out of there.
Face-off will come to the right of John Hajduk. These teams have really come in here and really kept Hibbing on their toes, giving them a tough game every night.
Yeah, the 3 games we've seen have all been good games.
Draw is controlled by Aurora. Out, back and forth between the defensemen. Shoot. It's just deflected wide. Hibbing controls in the corner. Back to Gozic. Gozic around to Hagen. Hagen back to Kasner. Kasner back to Hagen. Hagen up the board. He's ridden off the puck. Controlled there by Aikens. Aikens shoots it down. In the corner, Gozic puts it up. Puts it behind the net to Vidmar. Vidmar back to Gozic. Pass for Kasner. Couldn't quite handle it. Shot there is wide. It's saved there by Van Cleve on Kasner. Point blank range.
That's surprising how Van Cleve, watching him in practice, he didn't look that sharp. But he's certainly putting the effort through now. First penalty of the game to Aurora.
Number 18, Dan Muggy. I'll have to see what Aurora can do when they're shorthanded. He gets 2 minutes for tripping, Dan Mugg. Katani controls back to Tom Hansen. Tom Hansen skates out in front. Over to Katani. Katani's shot is wide. Up to the point. Aurora clears it out, hits the rep.
Hibbing so far
Anderson
this
picks it up. Over to Katani. Katani back to Iozo. Iozo picks it up. Gets into the corner. Back to Nikolov. Nikolov over to Katani. Katani out, tried to get out in front to Tom Hansen. It's knocked away from him. Aurora comes back. Surprising there was no penalty there. It looked like it pulled him down.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Katani picks it up, brings it in over the blue line. Gets around the net, up in front. Saved there by Van Cleve, and it's cleared out by Aurora.
On the power play this year, Hibbing is 30%. He's made 17 of 55 power plays. Well, this is a 56.
Nikolov skates down into the corner behind the net. Back to Anderkin. Anderkin back to Nikolov. Nikolov out in front to Hansen. Hansen over to Katani. Katani back to Hansen. Back to Katani. Katani skates in. His pass is blocked. Gets it right back. Skates with it around the boards. Back to Iozo. Iozo tried to get it out in front. Pass is blocked. Shot there by Nikolov.
Oh, that was
high and wide by Anderkin. And Aurora clears it down.
19 seconds left on the penalty.
Aurora's doing a good job killing this penalty.
Doing a real good job.
They're not giving Hibbing any kind of shot. Iozo behind the net. Gets it out front. Trapped on the side of the net.
I think on this penalty, I think Hibbing is rushing it. They're not taking time to set up. They're using the long passes instead of setting up a play where they can get a wide open or a guy open on the side of the net there. I think they're rushing themselves. They had the time in which to set up, but they're not using it.
Now we have a face-off with 2 seconds left in the penalty to Muggy to the left of John Van Cleve, controlled by Aurora. Run stolen by Katani. Katani shot. Oh, he scored! That looked like a miscue to me.
Yeah, it was. He stopped it. It hit his stick and bounced in. To set up, but they're not using it.
Now we have a face-off with 2 seconds left in the penalty to Muggy to the left of John Van Cleve, controlled by Aurora. Run stolen by Katani. Katani shot. Oh, he scored! That looked like a miscue to me.
Yeah, it was. He stopped it. It hit his stick and bounced in. He had made the stop and it hit his side of his stick and bounced in. That's what it looked like to me. He had made the save, but he made the save with his glove. And it ricocheted off his glove and it hit the stick and it went right in.
So we have a 3-3 hockey game with 9:10 left in the second period. Aurora dumps it down into their own zone. Kristoff back around the net. For Bryant. Bryant up to Grillo. It's knocked away by Aurora player. Aurora clears it down into the Hibbing zone. Bovich race for it.
That's Katani's 17th goal of the year, an unassisted power play. No, it wasn't a power play. It just come out.
Zestel over to Grillo. Grillo tried to hit Katani. Couldn't quite get the pass to him. Katani back to Grillo. Brian Olsen knocked it away. Olsen skates around his own net, stops. Pass is almost intercepted. Sandvik picks it up, knocked away. Grillo passes over to Zestel. Zestel misses the pass. Grillo over to Katani. Katani picks it up, shoots, his shot is blocked. Aurora brings it out. Aurora player is knocked down by Gusted. Play around the net. Cousseau up to the point, not hard enough. Got a race for the puck. Oh, we're going to have a penalty.
Yeah, there it is.
We're going to have a tripping penalty to Mike Vidmar, number 5. He'll get 2 minutes for tripping. So Aurora's got a chance to get another goal.
Well, we'll see how their power play goes.
I don't think he really needed that penalty.
No, I don't know if that was a mistake or if he really actually was trying to keep him out of there. Oh, they're giving him interference. Well, Hibbing was good at penalty killing. Out of 68 penalties they've had to kill, they've killed 61 out of 68, so there's only been 7 goals scored against them. So that's 89% average, so they're awfully good at penalty killing.
Tom Hansen and Brent Bovitz pinned the puck against the board, so we'll have another face-off to the left of John Hajduk.
Hajduk is really getting tried tonight. He's the top goalie in the IRC with a 1.66 goals against. You know, and I think he's one of the top in the state, and so far 3 goals in on him. So Aurora is giving him all he can handle.
Iozo controls back to Brad Hansen. Clears to the blue line, but not out. He's shot in front. It's blocked by Tom Hansen, and he dumps it down. Aurora regroups in their own end.
There was a good block
Good stick check there by Zins.
Mike Zins was awake on that one. Ioza would have been on there 1-0.
Kristoff tried to clear it back down into the Aurora zone and was deflected up into the crowd.
Yeah, Mike Zins wasn't watching that pass. Ioza could have broke all alone on Van Cleve.
Controls and draws back to Tom Hansen. Hansen dumps it down into the Aurora zone. Aurora brings it out. Mismatch couldn't control the puck. Pat Iozo picks it up and dumps it out to center ice. Zins picks it up, loses the puck. Comes in. Nice defensive job there by Tom Hansen. Hansen back, loses it. Aurora controls, dumps it down into their own to the Hibbing zone, around the net for Kristoff. He's checked there, goes out to the point, but not in. Oh! Bovitz just couldn't quite get it in there, and by the time he had a shot, the Hibbing player was on it. Anderson breaks in. Puck is knocked away from him. It goes up against the boards there by Hibbing.
Bovitz, I think, faked around too long. And Hajduk came out and cut the angle out on him.
He did do a good job on that play.
Yeah.
.14 seconds left in the power play for Aurora. They're going to have to work fast if they're going to get something out of this. Draw is controlled by Aurora. Passes it knocked away by Kasner.
A little mishandling there.
Aurora controls behind their own net. Kasner is doing a very effective job forechecking.
Well, Hibbing, other than that one pass, you wouldn't even know that Aurora was on a power play.
Big scramble for the puck at center ice. Olsen shoots it down into the Hibbing zone. Clouseau's knocked against the boards, picked up by Tom Hansen. Tom Hansen up for Kasner. Kasner breaks in there, going down the right side. Tries to pass it up to Hagen. Hagen back to the point to Hansen. Saved there by Van Cleve. Oh, Hibbing scores!
Well, there was a big mess in front of the net, and Van Cleve, he was blocked out and screened and everything on that one. He didn't have a chance at that goal whatsoever.
He made the first save, and the defense just couldn't clear the puck away.
And there was about 3 Hibbing guys around the net there, so I think that was a deflection really too.
Hibbing scoring was number 8, Jeff Clouseau, getting the goal with an assist to number 2, Tom Hansen. Puck is held in by Aurora. Aurora shoots it back down into the corner, goes around the net. Kristoff picks it off. Back to Hansen. Hansen's knocked off the puck. Aurora controls it. Tried to get it out in front of the net. Hansen picks it up, brings it out of his own zone. Iozo picks it up over to Morales. Morales pushed off into the board. Aurora picks it up. Swatted out of the air by Aurora player. Hansen shoots back down into the zone. save there by Van Cleve. Marot was standing out in front of the net by himself.
Yeah.
There's a hand pass there. The goal wouldn't have counted even if it would have went in.
That last goal by Jeff Plagio, that was his fourth of the year.
Face-off will come outside the Aurora blue line. Draw is controlled by Aurora. Shot into the Aurora bench. We'll have a face-off outside the Aurora blue line again. Looks like Aurora kind of lost a little bit of their spot.
I think probably the intensity that they've been playing has been quite high, and you know,
All alone, Van Cleve makes a nice save.
playing three lines against four, it's going to get to you.
Grillo picks it up. Takes in it all alone. Shoot! Oh, a nice club save by Van Cleve.
Remember how that game in Aurora went when Hibbing and Aurora had a good game for the first period and a half, almost 2 periods. In the third period, the roof caved in on them. Ended up to be a 9-3 game, so you know that has to be a nightmare for Aurora right now. They gotta stay. If Hibbing scores anymore, I think they're gonna have a real tough time at trying to catch up. So they're gonna have to score and stay with him for the rest of this game if they're gonna have any chances of winning.
Hibbing controls the draw. Gusted fans on the shot. Aurora picks it up, dumps it down into the Hibbing zone. Backhanded out of there. Olsen picks it up. Shoots it down in behind the Hibbing net. Gozic up to Esty. Esty knocks the player down. Hibbing controls into Aurora's corner. Esty picks it up. Just knocked off his stick. Vidmar out in front. Shoots. Whoa. Gozic shot it high over the net. Aurora's bringing it back down. Mismatch. He's knocked off the puck. We have a little mix-up in front of the net.
Yeah, Zins and Gosted. But
I think Aurora's best chance would probably be go back to hitting Hibbing again.
yeah, no doubt about it.
They just haven't done that in this second period.
No, they're
Aurora controls in the corner. Behind the net. Kristoff makes a nice play to keep the puck from being centered. Tom Hansen out to Iozo. Iozo up to Anderson. Anderson breaks it along. He's pulled down. We're going to have a penalty to Aurora.
another penalty, Aurora.
Shot by Iozo. Oh, Iozo shoots over the top of the net.
Ryan Olsen, I think, for Aurora is going to get this one. Or is he? No, he isn't. Dean Krosky.
There's a minor penalty on number 4, Konsky, for holding.
Koski gets a 2-minute penalty for holding, so Hibbing's got a chance to put this game out of reach.
Yeah, Hibbing was, they score on this, I would have to say that that's going to be a heck of a lead to bring, or come back to.
Aurora controls the draw. Player's knocked down. Sandvik breaks down all alone by himself. Shot on the net. Hajduk makes the save. Zesso picks it up over to Morel. Morel skates in. Knocked off the puck. Grillo back to Bryant. Bryant. Over to Kristoff. Kristoff in the corner. From Morel. Morel's knocked off the puck. The puck comes out to the slot. He's dumped down. Aurora dumps it down into the Hibbing zone. Bryant controls behind the net. Gives it off to Grillo. Grillo over to Zesso. Zesso was just a little bit too far for him. There's 1 minute left in the period. 1:05 left in the penalty. Grillo brings it up. Grillo down into the corner. Back to Catani. Catani skates out in front. Oh, and he scored!
Very good stick work by Antonio Catani.
A big lapse in the defense for Aurora.
Yeah,
there's no way he should have been able to walk out in front like that.
That one defenseman stood right there. He skated around him in the goalie. Coming in from the side like that, I don't know why the goalie didn't have that side of the cage blocked off. He came right in there and poked it between on the right side of the goalie.
Scoring for Hibbing, number 3, Latani from number 17, Grillo.
Scoring was number 3, Antonio Catani from number 7, Nick Andrikin, or excuse me, number 17, Mike Grillo. Oh, shot there by Patiozo, and Van Cleve made the glove save and dropped it.
That's a hat trick for Catani.
Save out in front by Van Cleve, makes another save. Van Cleve covers up for the save. He's getting a lot of work in the second period.
He's, I think probably they were looking for that. For Catani, that's his 18th goal. He's got a hat trick tonight.
Morel fights for the face-off. Aurora controls with only 9 seconds left in the period. Knocked away there by Nikolov. Nikolov skates up, shoots it into the Aurora zone. That's the end of the second period. At the end of the second period, the Hibbing Blue Jackets come back to take a 5-3 lead over the Aurora Hoyt Lakes Blackhawks. We'll be back in a moment. Well, after the second period, Hibbing's come back to take a 5-3 lead. Really not surprising, but Aurora hasn't really done their checking that they did in the first period.
I think that for this period, Hibbing is just taking control of the game. They're coming out strong, checking, good skating, good passing, and their defense is starting to just take over everything. And I think the manpower difference between Hibbing and Aurora, I think that's starting to show now.
You want to tell us what happened in that second period?
Well, Hibbing came out and scored 3 goals. It was 3-2 in favor of Aurora at the end of the second period, or first period. Now, Hibbing has scored 3 goals. The third goal came unassisted, and Antonio Catani skated in. That was the second goal of the night. The fourth goal came as number 8, Jeff Clausiu, skated in. He was assisted by Tom Hansen. The fifth goal was scored as Catani, he again got in on a power play, assisted by Mike Grillo. And for Catani, that was his 18th goal of the year, and also that was a hat trick for him. There were 2 penalties in that period, 2 to Hoyt Lakes. Number 18, Dan Muggy, got a tripping penalty, and number 4, Dean Koski, got a holding penalty. Hibbing never had any penalties at all that period, and I think that's what helped them a lot, because when Hoyt Lakes got into that penalty situation, that's what proved the saves for the period. Van Cleve of Hoyt Lakes had 14 saves, and for Hajduk, he had 4. I'll be back in a moment with my guest. My guest for this period, between periods, is John Perpich, a former Hibbing High School athlete who now works for the Central College scouting for the Poles. John, you attended Hibbing High School. What was your teams like when you played?
Well, I know we had some good teams in the late 60s and the early 70s. We went to the state tournament twice, and we had a series of real good years that I think produced some excellent hockey players. And I know the last few years Hibbing has again been producing some great players, as they have consistently, I guess. If you take a look at the rosters of college teams in the last 10 or 15 years, I think you tend to find some Hibbing players on many of the rosters throughout the WCHA and also in the ECAC.
The years that you went to Hibbing High School, I think there was about 7 or 8 different players that went to the college ranks from high school.
Right. There were several players during those years that went, and I know, as I said, after I left, there were people like the Politzes, like the Davy Johnsons, Billy Grillo, who's playing this. There continues to be a number of great hockey players that have come out of Hibbing, and I guess in being an assistant coach at the University of Minnesota for 4 years, the one thing we found about recruiting people from the range in general was that not only did you get a great hockey player, but you also got an individual with a lot of heart who you could depend on to be a real winner for you.
You appeared 2 years, I think it was, in the state tournament. For these kids, if they make it, is it quite an experience being in high school? You know, you go to the state?
Oh, it certainly is. I think it's just a great experience, not only for the seniors who are going to get a tremendous amount of exposure, both to the colleges and the NHL people. It's a great experience just to be there, just to play in it. And it's also a great experience for the underclassmen who are going to be coming back the next year, and they're coming back knowing that they're winners, having that experience behind them, and they just become that much better the following year.
You also attended University of Minnesota, and 1 year you were NCAA champs. Between the state tournaments and being in a NCAA tournaments, being the champs, what kind of experience is that for you?
I guess it was a great experience. My senior year at Minnesota, we were coached at that time by Herb Brooks, and we won the first NCAA championship. I think we had like 4 or 5 players from the Iron Range, including like Mike Polich, Cal Salter, Buzzy Schneider, and myself. So that was a great experience. It was a great way to finish a college career. I know I went on from there and played a little bit of minor league hockey, and then went back after coaching at Aurora Hoyt Lakes for 2 years. Went back to the University of Minnesota and was with Herb Brooks, one of his assistants, where we won another NCAA championship in '79.
Those years that you played in a college, was the drafting as heavy then as it is now?
No, that has changed considerably, and the reason for it is that it's become, the underage draft as we know it, has become a 17-year-old draft, where before the WHA days it used to be a 20-year-old draft. So before the NHL people were looking at people who were freshmen and sophomores in college. Now they're looking at seniors in high school. So that has changed like 2 or 3 years, and basically what it's amounted to is more people scouting, more games being covered, and you see the scouts at various high school rinks as well as the college rinks.
Being a scout as you are, what do you look for in a player?
I think a number of things. One, looking for people as NHL prospects, they have to have some size at certain positions. For instance, defensemen, wingers. Usually you need a person who has some size. If they don't have the size, they've got to be extremely talented. They've got to have the great skills. And I guess we look for skating, we look for puck handling, we look for instincts in a player. And that combination of all those things, we just try to evaluate and project down the road if that player has a future in the National Hockey League.
You work for the Central Hockey Association as a whole, or do you work for one team?
Well, it's NHL Central Scouting, and it's a lot like the Blesto football system, where it's a scouting pool that serves all the teams. All the teams, our information goes to all 21 teams, and we get reports out to them about 4 times a year. Ratings, we give them 12 rounds of players, people that they may want to look at or are looking at, and we let them know what we think of them.
Is that similar to everything's on a computerized system like the National Football League is starting to get to?
It's much like it. Right now we aren't computerized, but we've got 8 full-time scouts. We've got another 12 part-time scouts who cover the U.S., Canada, and right now we've also got a division in Europe covering Sweden, Finland, and generally covering all the players, the European players. So we generally cover a lot of games. I see about 200 games a year. And it gets to be a lot of hockey, but I enjoy it. It's fun to see the best hockey players around.
Do you basically go after, like, do you follow college and high school, or is it basically high school?
Well, generally now it's 17-year-olds. We're talking about college, or excuse me, high school seniors. Also, some of the college, if a young man is a young college freshman. This year, the people eligible are all the people born in 1964, 1965, and 1966 up to September 15th. So if a person is a real young freshman, he can be eligible for the draft this year. And the other thing is that if a player doesn't get drafted his first year, he has 3 years to go through. So if a person is a late developer, he could be drafted his second year or his third year.
Don't you think it's tough on a lot of these players who are in college now, say like at UMD, where I think just about every kid in the team has been drafted one way or the other. And it's quite a factor for them whether to stay in school or not, or whether to go play for these teams.
Well, I think the one thing that you'll find is about 90 to 95% of all the National Hockey League teams don't want to take players out of college. They're drafting a player, they want him to develop in college for 4 years. If a young man is like well, let's take a Phil Housley, who is able to step right into the National Hockey League right now, then there's a possibility that a team would sign him. Otherwise, the teams don't want to take players out of the colleges. They'd like them to finish their 4 years, and when they're ready to step into the National Hockey League, then they want to sign them at that point.
That, I think it's changed a lot now. They're going more for finishing the education, because I think before they just wanted to take them.
Well, I think that has changed, and part of it is the financial situation. If a young man goes to college for 4 years, it's not costing that NHL club any money at all to develop him. On the other hand, if he's drafted out of a junior team, they have to sign him in a year, and it costs the team X number of dollars just to sign the young man, and it's going to cost them maybe 2 years or 3 years salary to develop a hockey player, where going to college, it doesn't cost them anything to develop him.
Do you find that a lot of the high school players that never were known, all of a sudden they start blossoming out into college, and they start to shine over there?
I would say that that's true. Generally, you're looking at people trying to project them down the road and see how good a hockey player is going to be. But you tend to find some of those late developers that become great college players and NHL prospects.
Are you here looking at certain players?
Well, I'm looking at all the players, I guess, especially the people born in 1966. Many of them are too young, the grade 10, 11, and the grade 9ers. But I remember the people for next year that are the underclassmen playing well.
Well, John, I want to thank you for being on the program, and we'll be right back.
Well, we're here at the start of the third period waiting for the face-off. Aurora's going to have to do something like they did in the first period to get back into this game.
Well, Hibbing has gotten control of the game, and Aurora's going to have to change.
Pass out in front. Van Cleef makes a save. Covers up. Oh, there was a hit in there.
I'll tell you.
Iozo really took a blast.
They're going to have to change their game, because Hibbing has taken control of it, I think, as far as everything.
I noticed that
Every aspect of it.
when Aurora wasn't taking the body, Hibbing was skating all over.
Yeah, they
so
were.
I think they're going to have to go back to the body.
The second period, there wasn't much checking at all. Aurora was letting them into their zone, which they shouldn't have been doing, and I think they were going for offensive power.
Draws controlled by Aurora up the boards. Aurora brings it out of their own zone. Dumps it down into the corner.
Penalty
penalty to number 6, John Zessel of Hibbing.
High sticking or boarding or what is it?
I think it may be cross-checking.
Minor penalty on number 6, Central, for checking from behind.
Checking from behind, so what better way to start off a period than to get a penalty and get back into the game?
Now, if Aurora can score a power play goal here, this will help them out. And I think, you know, to get them back in this game, but they got to get this goal right here.
Iozo flips it out into center ice.
You got to get a goal now.
Aurora controls in their own zone. Got a break on the side. Oh, and he shot it wide. We had a man breaking down the other side, wide open. Sandvik puts it over to mismatch. Couldn't control the pass. Kristoff controls it up the boards. Dumps it back down in the Aurora zone. Aurora brings it out. Koski dumps it off. Novik takes a shot. We're going to have an offside call in Aurora. A much slower pace than the first and second periods.
Yeah, so far, I think Aurora's trying to make themselves present, trying to get situated. But they're going to have to score on this power play.
Puck is shot in. Baiduk makes a save. Puck is shot around center ice. Brings it around. Katani controls it in the corner. Puck is knocked off his stick. Puck is knocked off Bryant's stick. Nikolov picks it up in the corner. Puts it down out to the center ice area. Nikolov makes a nice defensive play to get in front of the Aurora player. Puts it around the boards to Grillo. Grillo's got Katani wide open. Oh, and it's just too far for him. Katani controls behind the corner. Defensive player falls down on the puck and we'll have a whistle.
Hibbing missed a brilliant chance on a short-handed goal there when Grillo passed too long to Katani, who was breaking down the left side.
That would have just about killed the Aurora.
That should have been all over with the shouting, I'm sure, but if he would have got that one in. We got 12 seconds left on a penalty. I doubt they're going to score.
Hibbing's had better scoring opportunities than Aurora has on this power play.
They had one shot on goal is all they had.
Aurora brings it out of their own zone. Hibbing is now at full strength.
Hibbing at full strength.
Este knocks it out of Hibbing's zone all the way down into the Aurora, into the ice. Aurora brings it out. Shot over the top of the net by Gusted.
Good thing that goal judge has that board there. He would have got her.
Of a face out outside Aurora's blue line.
I don't know. They can be on this over here.
Draw is controlled by Hibbing. Goes all the way back down in their own end. Gusted picks it up.
What about the board?
Passes it over to Clauseau. Will have an offside. Iozo controls the drop back to Hansen. Hansen over to Kristoff. Kristoff's pass is too far. Aurora puts it down into Hibbing's end. Aurora holds it in. Christoph picks it up. Oh! Elbow on that one. Anderkin is knocked down. Hibbing still controls. Anderkin up. Pulled away. The shot is right on Van Cleve. Looked like there should have been a penalty there on Aurora. Pulled Anderkin down.
Get out!
Looks like they had an elbow over here. Aurora's starting to check quite heavily, you know.
I have an offside call there on Aurora. We'll have a face-off just outside the blue line.
Yeah. Bumps into it. What do you say?
Catani controls the draw. Nikolov back up to Catani. Catani gets it over to Grillo. Grillo tried to get it out in front. The defenseman knocked him away. Aurora shoots it down.
Icing if the goalie doesn't, he'll get her.
Nikolov in his own corner bringing it out. Bovic poke-checked the puck away from him. Vessel fires it down. We're going to have an icing call on Hibbing.
10:34 left in the game. This game is being brought to you by the Television Production 2 Glass and Mass Comm Department of Hibbing Community College, Arrowhead Region. The underwriter for this program is the First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Hibbing.
Aurora controls the draw. Shot there, deflected.
Oh,
Just wide. Grillo makes a nice move to get it over there. Zessel has it taken away from him. Hey! Grillo stole it, couldn't quite hold on to it. Zessel picks it up, dumps it down into the Aurora zone.
Look at it. Oh.
Catani picks it up in the corner. Stolen there by Stanvik. Stanvik skates in. We'll have an offside.
Offside. This is 8CCV Cable Channel 2 Community Television for the city of Hibbing.
We'll have a face-off outside the blue line. Looks like neither team really wants to skate. Just,
well, I think
a groggy game.
Right now, Hibbing has the lead, and they probably have the feeling, you know, that they can lay. They're in a kind of a shell now. They don't have to do too much now because Aurora isn't really putting any pressure on.
Dustin picks it up, skates out.
There's a nice pass there.
Gets Estee with the pass, and he can't quite control it. Goes down into the corner. Fight for it in the corner, back to the point. Vidmar puts it in, deflected wide. Aurora controls, gets it out of their own zone. Dustin passes over to Gozic. Gozic dumps it down right on the net. Van Cleve has to make the save. Goes over into the corner. Estee picks it up, skates around the back of the net. Out to Gusted. Gusted shoots. Oh, deflected wide. Yeah. Aurora clears it to the line, but not out. It's held there for a face-off. We'll have a face-off just outside the Aurora blue line with 9:05 left in the third period. Hibbing holding a 5-3 advantage.
The way it looks, the way Aurora's playing, the sting is out of them.
Anderkin makes a nice move. The puck is knocked away from him. Van Cleve pins the puck up against the side of the net, and we'll have another face-off to the right of Van Cleve. Draw is controlled by Hibbing, back to Hansen. Hansen shoots it down into the corner. Merle tries to get it out in front. Van Cleve knocks it away. Aurora brings it out. Knocked away by Pat Iozzo. Aurora brings it up 2-on-3.
Oh, what a
Nice
check.
hip check there from Tom Anderson. passes as the puck's stolen away. Aurora dumps it down, back down into the corner. Hansen skates with it behind the net. Up to Iozo, just a little bit too far for him. We'll have a hand pass there. So we'll have a face-off outside the blue line.
We got another good crowd tonight. Again, this program is being underwritten by the First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Hibbing.
Looks like both teams are playing a defensive game here.
What a boy.
Catani picks it up over to Grillo.
Looks good.
Grillo shoots, his shot is deflected wide. Zessel picks it up, out to the point. Nikolov backhands it back in to Zessel. Zessel out to Grillo. Grillo shoots, a save there by Van Cleve. Hansen shoots. Oh, he tipped out in front and he scores! So Hibbing takes a 6-3 lead here midway through the third period. Scoring on the play was number 10, Richie Bryant, from number 6, John Zessel. Rourke breaks it out of their own end. Over to Rafferty. Rafferty dumps it in. Zessel picks it up. His own end. His pass is stolen there, but stolen right back by Gusted. Gusted to Nikolov. Nikolov. Gusted. Gusted's shot is high. He just saved there. We're going to have a penalty. I guess that was just a whistle there with 7:04 left in the third period. Hibbing leads 6-3. Shot right on the net. Van Cleve makes a save. Clausio pins it up against the back of the net. So we'll have another face-off to the right of John Van Cleve. Hibbing's next home game is kind of a tentative game as Greenway is high school is on strike. Puck is knocked outside the Aurora zone. Hibbing controls it, dump it. We have a whistle. Looks like we had an offside call there. Gusted controls, shoots it in. Saved there by Van Cleve. Fight for it in the corner, back to the point to Vidmar. Vidmar shot is blocked. Nice save there. Made by John Hajduk. He had the angle cut off rather well on that. I don't think he had a chance to get through unless he kind of was deflected or something.
Yeah, that's right. He had the angle well cut off. He would have either had to go around or skate all the way in on him.
Draw is controlled by Hibbing. Ow. Up to Anderkin. Anderkin breaking in. One man to beat. And he's pulled down from behind. We're going to have a penalty to Aurora. Penalty to Aurora is to Dean Koski for hooking. He'll get 2 minutes.
Minor penalty on number 4. Koski for hooking.
Hibbing controls it over to Nikoloff. Nikoloff shoots, his shot is deflected wide. Iozo puts it out in front, his pass is knocked back into the corner. Anderkin controls it out in front. Hansen can't quite make the get the stick on the puck. Kitani over to Hansen. Hansen's pass is behind Iozo. Anderkin picks it up. Out in front of Kitani, was behind him. Puck is knocked out of the zone to center ice.
Been on the other side of that line.
Kitani's got it. Makes a move around one man, shot on the net, saved by Van Cleve. It's kicked out down into the Hibbing end. With 1:20 left in the Hibbing's power play and 5:20 left in the game. Pat Iozo brings it up. Races down into the Aurora end. Aurora controls it, put it on the board. Hansen picks it up. Skates along the side, out to Anderkin. Anderkin's pass is knocked high over into the boards. Hansen controls back to Anderkin. Pass is too far for Iozo. We got a 2-on-1 break. Got a breakaway here. Hey!
Tom Hansen made a real good poke check. Poke check in there.
We got a 2-on-1 break. Pass over. Oh! We're going to have another penalty.
He hit his head on that spike.
We have a minor penalty on number 11, John Koski for hooking.
Penalty is to Aurora's to number 11, John Koski. 2 minutes for hooking. Aurora got caught with one too many men on the ice. They got 2 men in the penalty box.
And knocked out to the goalie to take it off now.
I don't know, I kind of think that was knocked off. I don't think the... A nice save there by Van Cleve. A point-blank shot from Zessel. Makes another save. Puck's out in front. There's...
It hit the pipe.
Hit the pipe and the defenseman pulled it right out.
It hit the pipe. It was right along the red line. Mike Zins pulled her in.
Well, Van Cleve did the first part and keeping it out, and then the defenseman pulls it out for him.
Part. It's making a lot of saves this game, or so far this game.
Oops. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, he just faked it.
Getting a little rough now. Both centermen are thrown out of the circle. Grillo tried to get it out in front.
Puck it under Zins.
Caught under the defenseman. Starting to turn into a kind of a sloppy game now. .4:14 left in the third period and the game. Hibbing is leading 6-3. Aurora's doing a little late last-minute changing.
Yeah, they are. They're just trying to knock the tempo off. I think they're going to put that 1 second back on the clock for that man coming on the ice, I think.
Fight for the puck, controlled by Meralt. Meralt over to Nikolov. Nikolov over to Gusted. Back to Nikolov. Nikolov shoots. Shots wide. Back out to the point. Gusted tries to get it back in. Held against the board. Gusted pulls it out into the center ice area. Skates in across the blue line. Nice play there by Aurora's defenseman. Nikolov controls behind the Hibbing net. He skates out with it. Up to Meralt. Meralt skates in over the blue line. Over to Gusted. Gusted's knocked off the puck. Gusted picks it back up. Gets it into Meralt. Meralt over to Vezzel. Oh, and he rings the crossbar.
I don't know what the heck.
Meralt picks it up. The shot is deflected wide.
Went right to Van Cleef.
Puck is knocked away from Zessel. Grillo picks it up back to Zessel. Zessel across to Meralt. Meralt shoots. Oh, he hits the side of the net. Zessel picks it up. Back to the point to Nikolov. Nikolov back to Zessel.
Right here, over here.
Zessel back to Nikolov. Nikolov passes behind him. Now the pass is intercepted. Rohr shoots it down. That should kill the rest of the penalty with 2 seconds left. 2.5 minutes left in the period. Anderkin picks it up. Skates down the right-hand side. Puts it back out. Tom Hansen shoots. Saved there by Van Cleve. Van Cleve kicks it over out against the boards. Rohr gets it out into the center ice area. There's a fight for the Hibbing blue line. Rohr controls it, dumps it down into the Hibbing zone. Hansen picks it up, skates up to the center ice, into the Aurora zone. Hansen behind the net. Right out in front, Van Cleve covers up.
That one almost dribbled in.
Went off Van Cleve's stick and went right out into the open front, into the crease. Aurora looks really dead on their feet now.
Oh, I think their adrenaline is out of them now. It's just a matter of time now. With 1:49 left in the game, so everybody's heading for the exits now.
Hibbing controls. Gazzy knocked down in the corner. Gusted picks it up. Kind of a mix up there. Out to the point. Shot. Oh, nice save there. One of the few ones he's had to make tonight. He covers up.
For this period, I got 2 for him only.
.120 left in the game. Hibbing is leading 6-3. Shot from the point. Hajduk makes the save and holds on to have another face-off. getting to be kind of a low-keyed hockey game now compared to the first part.
Well, I guess it's about the same thing happened when they played in Aurora. The roof fell in on them in the third period. Under a minute left to go now.
Over to Merle. Merle brings it down the right boards up in front. His pass is knocked down. Nikolov over to Hansen. Hansen shoots. Deflected. Oh, nice save there by Van Cleve.
Almost deflected into the net.
Hansen. His shot is deflected. Picked up by Aurora. 40 seconds left in the game. Puck is shot around the net. Merle shoots it high and over the net.
Guy that scores the most isn't necessarily the best player. Guy that's always out there hustling.
Iozo behind the net. Christoph Nikolov rings the post. Hansen shoots his shot is blocked. Iozo in the corner. Back to Hansen. Hansen lets it go. Saved by Van Cleve. With 11 seconds left, Van Cleve covers up for the save. And the whistle.
I got 14 saves for him already. He had 14 saves the first period, but I don't know if the official scores. I don't know what they're going to call.
With 11 seconds left in the game, everybody's leaving. And it is just about over. Deflected there by Van. Oh, and they score!
He had 3 short saves there. Finally went right.
I believe that was Mike Vidmar that will get the goal. I think that'll be unassisted. With 3 seconds left in the game. That's the end of the game.
From number 11, Rosenfeld. From number 8, Blanchard. 15 from 11 from 8.
The final goal was scored by number 15, Kelly Este, with an assist to number 11, Sean Gosted, and to number 8, Jeff Clausio. And we'll be back in a minute with the wrap-up. Welcome back. We got the post-game wrap-up. Hibbing really took it to Aurora after the first period, which
That was kind of expected, I think, because Hibbing was just outmanned. I mean, Aurora was just outmanned, knowing Hibbing's going to come back. Yeah, I guess it was expected, because same thing happened in Aurora. So it was just a matter of time before Hibbing took control, and they did. Starting about the end of the second period, and it was all Hibbing now, the third period.
Well, I noticed when teams, these last 2 games, when Hibbing has played Evelyn and Aurora Hoyt Lakes, that when the other teams are most effective is when the team, Hibbing's opponent, is checking them hard and trying to keep them off the puck.
Yeah, that's how last week's game or the other night's game with Evelyn. They played a good checking game, and they kept giving off their game for quite a while. And then when that slackened up, well, Hibbing went to their game, and that's all she wrote. Tonight, Aurora played a good checking game the first period, and they started slackening off the middle of the second period, and that was the end of her.
Oh, you want to tell us what happened?
Okay, in the third period, the only goals scored were scored by Hibbing. They scored 2 of them. The first one, the 6th goal, was scored by number 6, Rich Bryant. He was assisted by number 6, John Zezel. The 7th goal was scored by number 15. Anyway, he was assisted by number 11, Sean Gastro, and number 8, Jeff Claggio. The stops for the game, the Aurora goalie, Van Cleef, he did quite a good job. He had 22 saves in the third period, and he had 13 in the first period and 14 in the second, gave him a game total of 49. And the Hibbing goalie, John Hyduke, he gave 4 for the third period with a total of 21. Penalties in the period, Aurora had 2 of them. Number 4, Dean Koski for holding, and number 11, John Koski for hooking. And I guess from Hibbing until the next game with Greenway, which is on, what's the date of that game?
I think that's February 3rd.
February 3rd.
That's a tentative game. Otherwise, the next game will be against the International Falls Broncos from the Memorial Building. Good night.